What was advertised to me by the police officer as something I will not be capable to pull through when it comes to the belt like this. These are the belts I always used. Yeah, he said you're gonna through one pin you will, but through other one is gonna be a thicker pin. I don't know. Maybe it's a thicker pin, maybe it's not. And I'm just saying that maybe it's not because it appears to be actually the same end. It appears to be actually the same pin. But there's one thing. When he said for this one here, that's going to be a thicker pin. It would be a big mistake if I would say it's a thicker pin actually. Because one thing there is different than about this pin. This is bent. This pin is bent. Yeah, that's one thing I can definitely prove. I don't need any kind of special tools to do this. And you can see this with a blank eye. It's not straight. It's bent. And that's the one I cannot pull through on this watch. So this watch stayed inside of the room, off and on, off and on, off and on. And that's about the worst fucking thing you possibly can do. One of the things I did, I removed the screw that was ready to stay inside and never ever would come out. That stuff also was promised to me by the police officer investigator is going to be the case. Well, what the fuck this is? The screw took a few minutes to get him out, and this shit here probably took already 15 minutes. So that's what the fuck this shit is. What take 1 minute? 1 minute? It adds up actually to 15 minutes, and then you end up losing 30 minutes rather than 2 minutes. And on that kind of stuff, it's all adds to frustration and that kind of stuff. That's what happens when you leave the items inside the room unattended. That's why I drag this garbage, all the garbage with me. So, while I cannot prove that one pin is thinner or wider than the other one, I can definitely tell you that, and you can see that with the bare eye, you can see it, and the one on the left side definitely is bent. It's not straight. That can clearly be seen. Not exactly what police officer told me the case is going to be, but he did bent one. As I have explained, well, in a video about a Chinese advertised watch products at AliExpress and eBay, how the things went on. This kind of stuff that you see here, it's the kind of stuff the police officer got the special request from the watch services, from the stores, from the repair shops. In this case, watch repair shops in the city of the Novo Mesto. Special request for the watchmen to note everything irregular, strange, and stuff like this, and they were using that stuff to embed that into my real life. And they advertised that to me under MK Ultra before they presented this kind of garbage into my real life. That's how that goes. How dangerous, how innocent is this shit here? On one side you can see it, what you see it. The thing is that you have to note this thing does not bend in and out. It doesn't bend. On the other side is actually missing. Let me demonstrate you. On this watch, this shit does not bend. On the other side, it is missing. The police officer, if I recall his words, is the fucking guy I met the other day when I stopped at the police station to inquire about what would be a home care for my father. He told me, that's also why I know who did this shit. You're gonna most likely end up breaking this stuff, because you have to stick this stuff inside, push it through, and then push it through to the other side. And it loves to break. Here it is. A real Casio. So he targeted more than that. He had idea more than just about my stating that one side is wider than the other one, recalling the brainwash, how one is going to be wider than the other, la 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 la, seeing something that doesn't exist out of frustration. He actually had a chance that I would eventually, if pushing this stuff, end up widening this either enough so that no pin would fit anymore, because it was all be running out. You see, there are holes on each side. You see this? Or eventually breaking away this stuff. So this is how innocent this stuff is. This is the guy, the fucking guy, the police investigator who have big fucking problem with the watches. All he was doing, he was dreaming about fucking watches. Okay, let me see something. Okay. This here, this post, this is what you want to see. This. If you follow my stuff, what you want to see is actually this stuff here. This is the stuff to see. This is what this is. Published on October the 28th. This fucking guy who was playing with this watch here. This stuff. This fucking guy. This fucking guy was playing with his MK Ultra stuff since year 2000. Claimed AliExpress exists since year 2000. Well, they opened AliExpress in 2010. This is the fucking guy. This is the post you want to see in respect to this stuff. So I'm just giving you an example, because I would just go and fix little things like this a million times before. Now I learned to video record every little shit, because it's police investigators that intrude in this room. They burglarize, destroy, vandalize this room and sabotage stuff. So I figure out it's very, very important, regardless of how little it seems to be, to video record, to evidence, to create the evidence about absolutely everything you go through. Like the other day, I couldn't find a clipper from a haircut machine. And it was actually hidden as I started to clean up on the attic area, sorting out all the things in that area. I found one hidden in an attic area, upstairs in the floor above me. I couldn't find one for like 6 months. All of a sudden it disappeared. They were targeting daily things that you would use to go about, to drive you insane. Sometimes things would disappear and they would alone place them back to drive you insane. So I started to learn that actually the best thing is just video record stuff like this. Keep the evidence about it. Hey, by the way, it came to me evident that I'm gonna actually put wider pin, and it appears to me maybe even that this shit here was broken off by the police. They broke these things off. They brainwash under MK Ultra that this is what original this stuff looks like. Maybe it's true, I don't know. I did change the belt myself already once. I didn't have a problem with it. I don't remember. Today, however, I had a tremendous problem with it. And so I decided I'm just going to put this instead on. and quit that bullshit that possibly could even end up having me watch broken. I got this from other parts I have, watch parts that I have. So this shit really, really, really is not innocent, and it's a large consumption of time. It actually really deserves to go up on a website. We're gonna do something else. We're not gonna about what the why there is, but we're gonna go about what functions and what's not gonna create a damage. Basically, what police was doing. Police was always creating such a situations that in the end I would be the one who would end up causing damage to the items. This was their specialty. They break brand new watches and they demonstrated me how to buy a mechanism cheap. Brand new watch destroyed the second day, the very second day you got one in your hands, if not already destroyed by the mail that arrived, used, worn out by somebody watch, and then sit in front of the computer and demonstrated where on AliExpress or eBay where to buy a cheap parts this things for watch so that you could replace the mechanism inside so that your watch would be working. They always had this kind of system. Actually, they always had this kind of system. This is just another way of doing damage. This is going to the hell yeah. This hell yeah is going to the internet. I might actually end up today without this watch. It could be that I'm not going to be capable to put this thing on back, but it's okay. I washed these belts, several watch belts, so they're going to be nice and clean, and I'm going to put this thing back on. That's why I started this stuff. This is going to be the last watch I'm actually going. This is also Casio. I will try to see if I can get this thing back. If I cannot get this stuff back somehow, then what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna put this stuff on hold on and use other watches to get by. This is actually pushing down the throat. Total insanity to an individual. Total insanity. Total insanity. You guys don't fucking know what insanity is. You have no fucking clue. That's why I stated, if I hear somebody saying that MK Ultra is not so bad, it's not actually necessary bad, like I stated, I'm gonna fucking find you in your worst fucking nightmares, and you're gonna see what the fuck is gonna happen to you. You're gonna see if it is bad or not. If you do it yourself. Don't disseminate bullshit around. This is really, this year, this is MK Ultra. Cancer is MK Ultra. And it's because of you, the people that disseminate that not everything is bad about MK Ultra, that this shit here is happening. So keep it to yourself if you are somewhere doing that kind of stuff. This is the stuff even director of Novo Mesto Police was involved. Even director of the Novo Mesto Police, Jan Zogorin, was involved in this shit. He was also daydreaming about this stuff done to me, that how it's gonna be under MK Ultra, la la la. These are more mentally sick people than Joseph Stalin was. If you know who Joseph Stalin was, these are so mentally ill people that you don't find them anywhere in the world. Indeed, I did manage to preserve the watch by taking this from this watch, you know what I mean. It pays off not to throw away old watches. Use them as a parts. It pays off. Usually people throw them away in the trash bins. It pays off eventually not to. It pays off to keep them around. There you go. There I have it. I think it took more than half an hour. this is the same, absolutely the same concept, the same stuff is this. It's identical to what you see here. This is a classic Ogulin. This here. Actually, sorry. What we're gonna do is this here. This is a classic concept. And by demonstrating this, ladies and gentlemen, I form what is known as a chain of proofs. Same psychology was used. The same police psychology was used. They did the same shit. The Android would not transfer to me the most sensitive files from internal storage to the laptop hard drive. And if I would make a backup prior to deletion of those files from internal storage of Android to the SD card, I would have them lost. Here, I encourage you to see this stuff here. It's exactly the same criminal logic. It's exactly coming from the same people. The same fucking people. The same way. You gotta see it. Video Android hacking by police in Slovenia, now proven case. It's exactly the same, identical logic. Video Android hacking by police in Slovenia. It's exactly proven case on how they did. And we are repeating again the same thing here. Just in this case, it's the watch I'm using. But I always make sure that they created a setup through which I eventually would be the one who would end up causing to the item final damage by myself. Why? Because maybe this room, most likely, in my opinion, is actually video recorded, not only audio recorded. There's a lot of why. There is a lot of why. You do stuff like this when somebody is after your bare skin and has proofs in hands to prove crime. Yeah, you do stuff like this. You watch this here. Exactly identical. The same concept. When it comes to watches, I did spend considerable amount of time here to demonstrate it, to point you out what kind of crime that we were dealing with. My mother. This is all the cables are fucked up like this. This predecessor, who was worse than Xi Jinping, the same thing. This is a legitimate. My mother, when it comes to my mother, she started to advertise this watch right here. This watch. This watch. The Chinese started to advertise exactly this fucking watch here, did you see? In exactly year 2009, 2010. In 2009, 2010, my mother advertised this watch in the forest and everywhere inside of this room. They even come up with the idea when you're going to be going over this watch, seeing this watch, on how they're going to signal me. So yesterday when I did go over this watch and I was looking at this watch, it was the silence in her room, and then all of a sudden, when I came across this watch, it was the TV in her room that went loud, just like this. And what you see right there, these are bands that Americans introduced in MKUltra because my mother has a damage on her right hand, is deformed because she have fallen on snow and a hand is not healed straight. It was desired for me to purchase a wristband, a wristband for this watch. Yes, yes, that's exactly right. So if you have deformed hand, and my mother complained about, didn't want watch because of what she said, I have deformed hand. Time and again when I offer her. And so she said it would not be, it wouldn't look good in my hand. You know what the truth is? Exactly what I stated to you. The truth is they advertised something like this that would be elastic, not like this, but elastic that you put up and down. And it's this kind of band that you actually cut like this. You make 2 holes in this shit. This is what they were doing under MK Ultra for her. They were very, very graphic. They completely want you to enleave yourself in this kind of bullshit. 2 holes, one here, and you attach this through like this. Yeah? So it's just the watch actually that's sticking out like this, whatever. And on internal side of this, supposedly, let's just assume it's a rubber band, wristband. You saw this thing, right? You saw this stuff that you stick inside on the inner portion. So that's how she wouldn't have visible wrist deformation when wearing watch. Golden Sun. She was participating in this shit. She was engaging in this psychopathic torture. Watching me when I was hospitalized inside of a psychiatric hospital in Ljubljana, and much more that I don't want to, it's right now 8 o'clock, I don't want to spoil myself evening even more. That's how that go. That's how that went. That's how that goes. They advertised that watch, this watch here, they advertised one already in 2009, 2010. You see this watch here? Exactly this fucking watch, this shit here. I don't think AliExpress, which was launched in 2010, had this already in 2010. See? And then it was a bunch of females that also liked this kind of watch in 2011. And it's going to be this watch. And they'll walk him in the forest with it. And inside of the room. And which one is going to be? Okay, so now go and fucking tell this stuff to the people. And what do you think is going to happen? The police that's watching this stuff, it's not noting the proofs. They are noting this kind of stuff because they want to refute this stuff. The people of the United Nations who do not want to assume any kind of responsibility, they don't want to take job. They don't want to do their job. They're looking for the way out. That's the stuff they note at Interpol and elsewhere. All these organizations that firmly have avoided their responsibilities for no less in this case than 28 years involved and avoided. If you want to see a mental illness, I'm going to demonstrate your mental illness. What you have right there on the right side, his name is Borut Pahor. This still is the president of so-called Slovenia. And right there on the left side, you have an individual who is a present director of the police station of Novo Mesto. This is the guy who was running these operations next to this individual for the Borut Pahor for Milan Kučan. Since 1995. The first director of the police actually was the one who deputized these 2 boys to run crime in the background on behalf of Milan Kučan and Borut Pahor. So I just want you to see where the mental illness It's very, very important for you to see where this shit grew up. Who grew this shit. See this city here? Novo Mesto in Slovenia? Yeah? The fucking McDonald's. You see it? The fucking McDonald's is more important than a police station. This is not just any police station. This fucking police station is the main regional police station for entire Dolenska region. That's actually for this portion of Slovenia. At least a quarter of Slovenia. And you can't see this anywhere. You can see the fucking museum. You can see the fucking McDonald's. You can see the shopping centers. You can see some company right there. It's called Euronova. You can see stores such as Mercator, Harvey Norman. You can see a bunch of stores right there. You can even see small little companies. You can see a gas station right there. But you still can't see a fucking police station where all this shit grew up. So I want you to see where this mental illness, the so-called paranoid schizophrenia, grew up. I will demonstrate to you actually where this shit grew up. Amazingly, I still cannot see the fucking police station on this map. So, the main police station for entire Dolenska region, I cannot see one. So I'm gonna turn this map on to finally point you out this little operation which, if you switch the map, it actually appears next to these stores not too far from McDonald's, not too far from other stores that I demonstrated you, somewhere here in the middle as a police station. Because it's so fucking small that you can't actually see it. It's a fucking McDonald's restaurant that is bigger than this thing here, this beast that you see here. But I still want you to see where this mental illness grew up. In whose heads, on whose behalf, through whom this mental illness grew up. There is no fucking Slovenia until this case resolved. There's no fucking Slovenia. It's an imagination on the map only. There's no fucking elections in Slovenia till this case resolved. You understand? So I want you to see this shit, where this mental illness grew up.